Everyone knows what a meme is these days. Memes abound. You'll find memes all over the place online. But obviously, memes have their origin. That is, the word has its origin. And the term or concept of meme goes back to Richard Dawkins, famously or infamously, who coined the term in his 1976 book, The Selfish Gene. And it was meant to imply the idea of genetic propagation vis-a-vis culture, in a sense, which is to say the genes are not being propagated, but the memetics are, the cultural values. And there are all sorts of examples of this. You can look to famous artists and writers and philosophers, and you can argue that their memetic legacy has lived on, but their genetic legacy, who knows, one way or another. And that's originally what it was intended to describe, memetic transmission, etc., etc. But these days, memes don't necessarily have that connotation. They can, sometimes, but sometimes they have no connotation whatsoever. So, for example, take the Doge meme, this meme of the infamous or famous Shiba Inu dog that has propagated itself for a good 10 years plus online. It would be hard to argue for the cultural or philosophical or informational memetic value of that, because it's just this thing that floats about and does its own thing. But on the other hand, there are some memes that have been propagated in recent years that do have something to do with the original purpose and intent of the description of the concept. And it's with that statement that I will start talking about a meme that probably everyone knows about, but very few people have taken to examine in any detail, in any seriousness, and that is, get woke, go broke. Now, it's not entirely clear when this meme first took off or when it arose. Some people attribute it to Milo Yiannopoulos. Some people say it came from someplace else. It doesn't really matter. By now, most people know the concept, get woke, go broke. And it's meant to imply, of course, that when you produce things, entertainment, above all entertainment, but products in general, that are woke, that the profits that you will reap from such products will be inferior to the profits you might have reaped in a different context had you not gone woke, i.e., when you go woke, you go broke. And this term and this idea has been bandied about now for years, to the point where most people believe it. Most people believe that when you go woke, you go broke without any critical or further examination, because it kind of makes sense. It rhymes. It's memey, as they say. It's very memey, this meme. And the difference here is that if you actually take the time, as I have in recent months, to do some research and to look into this, you will realize that get woke, go broke makes a great headline. It's a great title on a video, and it's really, really cool to hear. But in actuality, it is not reflective of the underlying reality of entertainment, woke culture, and above all, profit. And so I can give you numerous examples. You can do the research yourself. You can read papers if you want. But just to name a few examples of films that allegedly were examples of get woke, go broke, you have the all-female Ghostbusters film, which it was claimed was a total flop and was terrible, but guess what? It made a profit. Not an enormous profit, but it made a profit. It made more money than its original production costs entailed, therefore it made a profit. The same is true of Eternals. The same is true of a slew of things. Most woke products actually sell above the production costs that were involved in making them in the first place. Sometimes they don't sell incredibly well, but they're still making a profit. And in some cases, they make a decent profit. And so the problem with the get woke, go broke meme is severalfold. One, it's not true. That's the biggest issue with this, because we know, and you don't even need to read research papers, although they do exist on this. You can just go to a Wikipedia article and look at what the box office success was. So it's very rare in general that films do much worse than their production cost. But part of the issue with the internet meme, as we've come to know it, is that it really takes on a life of its own. Sometimes it's a bit mindless, as it is with the Doge meme, right? And sometimes it's not. Because as anyone who is not woke is inclined to believe, we would like to think, that is, we who are not woke, that woke culture is bad, that it doesn't produce good products, etc., etc. And that all could be true. It actually could be true that woke culture is not cool, it's not healthy. It could be that the art that surrounds it is not cool either, etc., etc. But it doesn't mean that it's not profitable. And I think we who are inclined to believe memes all too easily fall into a trap. How does this trap occur? It's pretty easy. Echo chambers. I'm no different. I don't spend copious amounts of time with woke people. Why? Because I would go insane if I had to. I don't agree with these people about anything pretty much. And they would think in turn that I am a reprehensible individual. So we tend to, online and in real life, but especially online, drift into circles and associations that we feel comfortable in. And when we all want to be inclined to believe that get woke, go broke is a thing, that it's real, because that's what we want. We don't want woke culture to be profitable. We don't want it to succeed. You end up in a trap. You end up in an ideological trap because you begin to think it must be true. Enough people are repeating it, but turns out it's not. But it's important to reflect on what's happened. Not universally, but generally speaking, woke culture is a culture for the youth. Most people who oppose woke culture are somewhat older. They're at least millennials, or even older in my case, and they don't get along with the culture or the new values of the youth. And so what's happened is, in fact, a reconditioning, a priming. The youth has been primed and conditioned on woke culture, and so they're used to it and like it and appreciate it. You and I might think it's very, very weird to have a film with certain types of individuals cast just to fill in the gaps of some quota that has been dictated on high by the gods of wokeness, but they think that's part of the art. They think that makes it good. Unironically, if you actually speak to woke people, that is what they will tell you. That is part of what makes it good. Filling in female or minority quotas, for example, even when it's inappropriate in a certain setting, as an example. And so it goes with just about everything. And we react in a shocked state because we're much older and or we're not part of woke culture and we're taken back. But that is not the underlying reality to this, not at all. The underlying reality is that woke culture has been mimetically transferred to young people. They have grown up with it. They believe in it. It is in many cases their religion, at the very least a belief system. And they don't think that these things that are being produced, that we designate as woke culture, are bad at all. Because the entirety of their values and their perception of the world has fundamentally changed and stands in stark contrast to our perception. And what happens as a consequence? We start comforting ourselves with things such as, get woke, go broke. No, get woke, don't go broke, make a profit. Because as cultural memes are transmitted and generations succeed other generations, they typically have new values, different ways of viewing the world. But the critical difference here, of course, is that these individuals in question are living in the internet age. And the internet propagates and spreads things far, far faster than anything in prior generations. And so the shock that we all feel, what seems to be almost an instant, a moment in time, of transitioning from better quality productions or even high quality productions to what someone might refer to as woke trash in the right circles, well, that has put us all in a state of shock. What can you do about it? I think we need to accept a certain tragic reality that the good old days of entertainment and art are not coming back. They're gone. And this newest generation will effectively seal the lid on the coffin because what they think is good is fundamentally different from what we think is good. And the profits show it. People are not losing money by going woke. They're not going broke. They're achieving the opposite. They're making a profit. They're making money. And it's something that we all need to come to terms with, whether we like it or not. Perhaps in the future there will still be some niche things pursued by older folk, but whatever generation you belong to, particularly if you're a millennial or older, or in my case a Generation Xer, well, our time is over. And I guess all we can do is really fade into the sunset in as best a way as we can. As always, thank you for tuning in. Please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be informed of my videos, and if I'm still alive, I will check you out later. Everyone take care. May the gods watch over you. Bye-bye. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you enjoy my content, please consider making a donation or becoming a patron. Thanks for watching.